Hi everyone, this is our last video for the month of May. We've been talking about emotions this whole time and I've shared lots of information. So for this last one, I am just going to share some resources. I'm going to drop some links in the description or the comments for some videos that I've done, some blog posts I've done, and some resources, just extra resources for you if you are wanting to investigate this emotional world a little bit deeper. So for this video, it's going to be super short and sweet. I'm just going to show you 3 of my favorite books on emotions and just chat a little bit about them. And then like I said, I'll drop some links in below the video. So this first one is called The Emotion Code. And this is by Dr. Bradley Nelson. So this one goes into lots of information. This was probably the first time that I had really started digging into emotions, and it actually talks about muscle testing, which I think I mentioned in another video. So you're basically, it's kind of the same as like a lie detector test. Your body is going to respond really strong to the truth, and it's going to respond really weak to a lie. And once you realize the difference between that, you can ask your body questions and you can muscle test and it will answer you. So that was very fascinating to discover that that even existed. There is a ton of information in this book. It is not a light read. It's pretty thick, but it is full of information. And this is also where I started realizing about the whole idea about trapped emotions, and that if you didn't process your emotions, because I'm a stuffer, if you didn't process your emotions properly, they could become blockages in your body. And the person who wrote this book actually practices muscle testing on his patients, and he found some pretty crazy things out about his patients. There are some pretty crazy stories. One was something to the effect of someone who was struggling with some kind of physical thing, and it ended up, they did a whole bunch of muscle testing and they figured out that he had some emotional trauma from when he was a baby, and it was like a long time ago when they used safety pins to use diapers. They didn't have the disposable kind like we have today, and his mother actually pinned his diaper to him. And he had suffered trauma and never dealt with that, and he was actually having to deal with it in his adult life, but his mother never told him because she was so horrified that she had done it. So that was kind of like, wow, our emotions and our trauma from our childhood really can have an impact on our life. But there are tons and tons of stories of trapped emotions being released and then physical benefits from that. So the person is struggling with XYZ as far as a physical ailment or whatever, and they see this doctor and he muscle tests them and they're able to work through some emotions, and then instantly they have healing. So that is amazing. If that is something you want to read more about, The Emotion Code is a great place to start. Another book I highly recommend, I said this is going to be short and we're already 3 minutes in, is called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die, and that's by Karol Truman. And this one is kind of the same as the other one as far as not stuffing your emotions. You really want to be careful that you are processing and that you are working through things. You're not always able to do it when it happens, but allowing that time in your schedule for you to work through some things. So one scripture that they quote in this book is from James 1:8, and it says, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." So she talks about like your thinking part of your brain and your feeling part of your brain. And a lot of times we allow our emotions to control us, and that's when we really get in trouble. We might do things or say things that are really not what should be happening at that moment. You've got to have the thinking part of your brain activated as well as the feeling part. So your logical thought process kind of brain, and then your emotional part where you're getting all the feels, right? So there has to be a balance with that. This book is really good for parenting as well. I pulled a lot of nuggets out for just trying to model things for my kids that maybe I am just now figuring out as an adult, and we always want better for our kids, right? So this is just something that I can apply now in my life, but also kind of teach my kids the differences. So maybe they're having a meltdown or they're getting really upset, just reminding them to take a break and think, maybe remove yourself from the situation so you don't say things that you regret or whatever that is. So there's a lot of great information in this book as well. She talks about being single-minded, and then energy blockages. Of course, you can't really find true healing if you have energy blockages. So feelings buried alive, never die. That's a great one. And then this next one is called Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Carolyn L. Mine? I don't know how you say her name. Okay. This one is very specific to Young Living, which are the oils that we absolutely love. And there's lots of information in here. So if you've ever heard of a Zyto scanner, or gosh, there's so many different scanners. I can't think of the other ones. It starts with the T. I don't remember. But anyway, it's like an electromagnetic reader that tells your body some things that your biometric markers are off. Based on lots of things. So it basically is scanning your body and seeing what could help your body be the best that it can be. So they'll pull specific names of products or specific oils that can help you. This gets into what I've talked about before in my other videos, the 4 different parts of health: spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. You can actually look up, which I think is interesting, oils and then associated emotions with them. So if you were to do one of those scanners and say clove was one of the oils that came up on your printout from your scan, the emotion that's associated with that oil is lashing out. And the specific part of your body is your tongue. That's so fascinating to me, right? Lashing out in your tongue, like it's all connected. So you would actually apply that oil to that spot in your body on your tongue. Clove, that would be super strong. And then there's also a place where you can start at the part of your body, and it will give you the oil and the emotion, and it will also give you an emotion, and you can look that up and then look at the oil. And it even gives you, in the beginning, it gives you different things that you can say to release those emotions. The third thing that you can look up in this book, which I absolutely love, is a specific emotion. So if you are able to name your emotion that you are struggling with, that you are trying to work through, you can look it up on this chart, and it gives you, it's almost like a little protocol that you can do. And I think she recommends doing it 17 to 18 times a day. I've never been able to do it that many. I just do it as many times as I can think of. And I'll usually write, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you look up your emotion, and then it tells you what the other side is. So for example, anxiety, the other side is confidence. And then your way out is what you would say: peace, be still. The oil that you use is joy, which is a very happy floral blend. And then it tells you where to apply that oil. So it says to apply it on your capillary, and it even has a chart that shows you that's like right below your sternum. So you take that oil, you say that statement, you apply the oil, you massage the oil in, and you do that multiple times throughout the day to just aid your body in releasing that negative emotion. And there are lists and lists and lists of different emotions. Sometimes I will just pray that God will show me what specific emotion I need to work on. So the exact order of the protocol that she recommends is to identify the emotion, because you're saying it out loud. You're bringing it to your brain's conscious awareness that now you are mindful. We're speaking this negative emotion that we want to get rid of. Then you have to acknowledge that there is another side. There's a positive side to that, and that is the opposite of whatever that emotion is that you're working on. Then you say the way out statement, the positive thing that you're speaking to get rid of the negative feeling. Then you smell the oil. Oils are amazing because they can pass the blood-brain barrier that not a lot of things get through, and it can promote and just bring clarity to your body and just aid in things that God designed our body to do already. Then after you smell the oil, you apply it to that specific body part that it told you for anxiety. It was that part right under your sternum. So to apply the oil to your body, it's recommended that you put a few drops one or two in the palm of your non-dominant hand, and then take your other hand's finger and rotate it clockwise 3 times to kind of activate the oil, and then you put it on the specific part of your body. So I have done that, and I can attest that it works as long as you are consistent. You do it as many times as you can. She recommends 1, 3, 7, 10, or 18 times a day for 1, 3, or 7 weeks. So there's a little bit of give there. Kind of pick one that you can be consistent with, and then do it for a week and see if you want to try it for even longer. But I think a lot of it is just bringing it into your awareness that it is something that you're working on, and your body wants wellness. Your body wants that happy homeostasis place. So if it realizes that you're trying to work through something, it's going to do everything in its power to rid you of whatever this negativity is, because the body wants life. It does not want negativity. So I hope those references bring you some encouragement that this is not something that you have to understand like that, because I sure didn't. And there's lots of resources. Muscle testing is something that you can look up online. There's lots of great resources, people way smarter than me that are very much more experienced than me that can explain all the different ways that you can muscle test. I don't use it a lot. I rely on prayer and God speaking to me through songs or oils or other things, but muscle testing is definitely a way to tap into what your body already knows that's not quite in your conscious mind yet. So I hope you got some information that was helpful, and again, I'll drop some links below, and I hope that this emotional mini series that I did for the month of May was helpful. I'd love to read any takeaways that you have from this, or any questions that you still have. Just drop those in the comments.